Do what you love with who you love for those you love.
Hey guys, so this video is our step-by-step guide to technical development for the forehand with Coach Naeem.
Hi, I'm Coach Naeem. This is Justin. Justin, raise your hand. And this is Kaylee. And we're gonna run through our forehand technical system. So, all right, ready to go? All right, I need one in the front here and one in the back. Now, the first thing we normally start with is trying to teach the kids the right grip. And we do a very simple exercise for that, and that is simply place your racket on the ground. Okay, we're going to pick it up with the bottom of our hand attached to the bottom of the racket. And that's our typical semi-Western grip that we start using. So the first thing we like to do with the kids is get them moving, get the energy going, get the mind working. Some coordination drills. So Justin, if you could jog over there and grab that basketball. And we also like to keep the person in the back engaged. Honestly, we ask the kids a lot, which out of the two is the more important position? And it may seem like this is the one because we are engaged with this person, but often we really feel it's the back position because it shows us what the kids are gonna do when you're not there. And that ends up being the most important thing. So Kaylee, you're gonna go ahead and be on the back cone right there. If you can be there and you understand what you're doing on there, toe touches. Okay, try to be as soft as you can. And Justin, we're gonna go ahead and bounce. So ready, here we go. Sit nice and low, good. Try to keep your chest up again, bend, good. Keep your chest up, control. Try to be as light as possible, good. Okay, go ahead and switch hands, soft, soft, good. Light on your toes. Last 5, last 4, last 3. We're gonna pick up the speed a little. 2 more, and relax. Let's go ahead and switch. So Justin, drop back to the back. Kaylee, come on forward. Okay, and again, nice low, wide base. Even in this position, we're kind of looking for what Coach Ray would have been talking about earlier. We don't want the knees caved in. We want our butt sitting back, chest up, back straight. Okay, and soft hands, control, good. Justin, try and speed it up there a little. Good, control, control, good. Come on, again, throw that elbow into the bounce a little. Good, switch hands, switch. That's it, good. Are you getting warmer? Good, last 2. Perfect, okay, wonderful. So that's the first exercise we like to do. Just get the kids warm, body temperature up. Let's get you guys jogging over there. If you would kindly set those coats out to the side. And we're gonna start with our squats. We start with a bunch of squat variations, and it's really about just warming up the legs, getting the energy from the ground, warming up our single legs, balance, control, stability, and strength. And we've been fortunate enough to run into a lot of coaches in Atlanta that have shaped and molded our philosophy and made us truly understand how important the legs are in the development of the kids. So if we could start, we've got a nice squat position, feet shoulder width apart, toes facing forward, chest up, core tight meaning abs contracted. And then go ahead and take a seat back, nice and controlled, and then come on up. And we're gonna go down to a count of 3 and then up to a 1 count. So 1, 2, 3, down and up. 1, 2, 3, down, slow and controlled, and up. 1, 2, 3, down, and last one. So that was just a basic fundamental squat. Our next one is a squat with a calf raise. So go ahead. 1, 2, 3, down, up, tippy toe. 1, 2, 3, down, up, tippy toe. 1, 2, 3, down, up, tippy toe, wonderful. And last one, perfect. And you're allowed to smile when you do this as well. So third one is a jump squat. Nice and simple. When we hit the ground, we want to absorb the ground, let ourselves drop into the ground. Does that make sense? Okay, ready? Here we go. Nice and controlled, and up, explode. Little more explosiveness there, Kaylee. Up, there you go. Wonderful. Again, up, Justin, I want to see you get off of the ground a little bit more. Last 2, and last 1. Perfect. Okay, so at this stage, the bars can go down. We'll slide them out neatly to the side. And we're gonna warm up our single leg, balance, control, stability. So we want both hands, one hand on each shoulder, chest up, back straight, one leg off of the ground. We'll start with the right leg. And again, slow and controlled down, slow and controlled down, and then up. And we wanna go down to a 3 count. So 1, 2, 3 down, and up. Slow it a little bit, Kaylee, slow it a little bit. Slow it. Last one, control. And if you want to make this difficult, you can add a calf raise or a tippy toe at the end of it. So we'll try it once. Kaylee should be able to do it. Ready, nice and controlled. One leg, controlled down for a 3 count, and then up, tippy toe, squeeze. We want to get up as high as we can and hold that. Switch legs, we'll warm up the other leg. Controlled, up, good, controlled, up. And when you're squatting, you should feel it at the back of the leg by your pockets. So controlled, last 2, and last 1. Okay, so we've warmed up our upper body, we've warmed up our lower body to a degree, and now we'll jump over here and get started. Does that make sense? All right, let's do it. Okay, so first thing we have to do is teach the kids how to hold the racket, of course, and these guys have been playing for a little while, so they already know, but how we would teach it is extremely simple. Pop the racket on the ground. We're gonna pick it up from the bottom. Okay, we wanna make sure that there's no space between, or we like to make sure that there's no space between the back of the palm and the grip. And that's really how we teach it, a typical semi-Western grip. Sometimes we bring them around to Eastern, and we'll explain what that means in another video. So pop your rackets out to the side. This next drill is just warming up the feet, and really, again, we were taught from the ground up, we were taught how important the movement is. And so this is both a coordination drill and a way that we have found to develop the first step for an athlete. So here we go, ready? Nice and controlled, get your shuffles in. It's just like the hula hoop, pick your feet up, good. And stop. So the first thing, nice and simple, and this will end up being the 1 in our stroke, but we need this foot facing out to the fence. That's a must. Justin's ahead. He's made sure that this foot is facing forward. By keeping this foot forward, he feels that core is a little bit more engaged. If we were to bring it up, the feeling would disappear, and we need that energy for when we explode through the ball. So same thing, Kaylee, if you could stay a little lower, sweetheart. Drop a little lower. Okay. All right, so back in again, shuffle, shuffle. And this time, first step, we're gonna drop, pick up the ball, right hand. So right hand, and then a slow release. Good. Again, shuffle, 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 shuffle. Drop, and release, good. Okay, last one, again, stop. Okay, shuffle. So again, and when we're coming, and Justin, I think you know this, but we're rushing a little, we want to make sure that this foot is facing forward before you push. We're kind of shifting this foot, and we don't necessarily want that. Slide that out. Okay, Kaylee, come on forward, sweetheart, ready? So again, shuffle, light on your toes, good. First step, perfect, okay. Again, and you'll see it in a lot of the kids when they bend or when they're loading, we kind of give way in the chest area. We want to keep our chest up, back straight. If we do any bending, we want to do it from below the waist. Okay, and again, that's all right. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. First step, through, okay. And so we'll pause there for a second. We've gotten the feet moving, we've trained the first step, and the next thing we like to do is to build the technique, but to build the technique in the stances. So we have 3 stances, the open, the semi-open, and the closed. And we'll just go ahead and start running through those now. Okay. Why don't we start with this? And you feel like that's too heavy, so we've warmed up the feet. Justin will stand out to the side. So we're gonna get our first step in. Okay, 1. Again, we see the same positions. This right foot needs to be facing to the fence. Chest is up, back is straight, chin is looking forward. We're gonna drop to 2 and finish in 4. And that's our open stance forehand. And an open stance forehand is just describing their body is fully open. They haven't closed it yet. So again, 1 more. Ready? On your toes, right hand on top. 1. Drop and rotate through. Good. Okay, come on forward. Kaylee, jog on forward. Ready? Light on your toes, always on your toes. Get your first step in. 1. Okay, 2, 4. Good. First step, 1, 2, 4. Okay, last one. 1, stop. So try and keep this here a little longer. Again, you can bring it up, but keep the hip closed. There you go. 2. Okay, 4. All right, come on forward. Next up. Justin, we're going for a semi-open this time. Ready? 1, 2. Nope. We're going to drop to 2 before we step. So let's start it again. Ready? On your toes. 1. First step, 2. Okay, you're forward first. Justin, I need you to pay attention. What do I mean by 2 first? Well, load before you step forward. Does that make sense? And I could explain that a little. So Justin was taking his first step, then stepping immediately into his semi-open stance. And the way that we've done it is we like to encourage them to load and then step forward. It just seems to make for a better transfer of energy. It seems cleaner. So let's start again. Ready? First step. 1, 2, step, semi-open and through, hold. Good. Again, light on your toes. 1 more. 1, 2, step, semi-open. And again, semi-open would be 45-degree angle. So that left leg's gonna go here. Keep your body coiled, turn a little more. Should feel some tension here and rotate. Hold. Perfect. Okay, Justin, come on forward. Make sure you drop to 2 before you step. 1, 2, step, 4. Okay, 1 more. 1, 2, step. And the kids are doing it fairly well, but a lot of times the energy doesn't transfer like this. So a small cue we like to use is heel up here. And then we place someone in front and I want you to drive against me. So just push your body against me and turn into this front leg. Do you understand what I'm saying or no? Okay, so come on forward. We'll try that one again, but do you understand what I meant?
By the,
When I gave him the cue to drive against me, push against me. You stand against me, ready? I'm getting my first step in, I turn, I step, my heels up. Don't let me forward, don't let me forward. And I'm gonna drive against you and turn my hip through. I need to get as much out of that right leg as possible. Ready? On your toes. 1, 2. Okay, step, semi-open. A lot of the kids don't use that back leg well. This is just one way we've found to start the movement from the right place. So go ahead and push against me, push, 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 and then rotate through, so turn. And it's just starting the energy from the back leg, getting them rotating out of the ground, which is what tennis is all about. It's a rotational sport. So go ahead, 1, 2, step, close stance. Okay, go ahead, rotate through. Okay, next up, come on forward, Justin, ready? 1, 2, step, semi-open, ready? Again, so right leg forward, push, 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 turn, turn. That's it, and release the ball to me, ready? Here we go, 1, 2, step, and through. Good. Okay, close stance, last one. 1, 2, step, and 4. Hold. Okay. So at this stage, we've gotten the first step in. We've introduced the 3 stances, open, semi-open, and closed. And do you guys feel like you understand that? You understand what I mean by open and semi-open and closed? So now we're going to build in the weight transfer and the recovery. So do you understand what I mean by when I say bring your weight forward and recover? So we'll just build in the the concept of moving out of the shot. So moving through the shot and then moving out of the shot. Ready? On your toes. 1, 2, open. 4. Okay. Weight forward, sit, and then I want you to cross over and give me a lap around that square. Good. Again. Here we go. 1, 2, step, semi-open. 4. Weight forward, sit, cross over. Again, light on your toes. 1, 2, step, weight forward. 4, and cross over. Next up, come on forward. Ready, light on your toes. 1, 2, step, semi-open. 4, weight forward. Okay, good. And last one. 1, 2, step. Okay, 4, hold. And something we've been working on a little bit personally with Kaylee is the ability for her to not use the strength in a negative way. And by a negative way, I mean sometimes the kids are so strong that they control and they don't allow movement from the shoulders. So just allowing yourself to relax and drop the shoulders a little and allow for some free movement instead of forced movement is something we've found is really helpful. Bring your weight forward, sit. The other thing we like to look for is if there's nothing in the ground, then you're not getting anything out of the ground. So a lot of the kids come through, they finish in this position and there's nothing for them to explode out of or recover out of or move out of. So Kaylee, great job. So we've done our footwork, we worked on our first step, we've reviewed our stances and warmed up our loading and unloading with the medicine ball, and now it's time to put the racket in the hand. So go ahead and grab your racket. And normally the kids are pretty happy around this time because it can be very boring, not hitting balls, but it's really necessary. So everyone's on their toes, okay? And we'll just warm up your open stance. So ready, big first step, explode, 1, 2, 4, hold, okay? And we're not moving through it right now. Does that make sense? So we'll move through it in just a second. Ready, 1, 2, okay, separate those hands a little. 4, hold, perfect. Again, 1, 2, separate hands in 2, 4, hold, good. Okay, semi-open, ready, 1, 2, step, 4, hold, back ready, on your toes, semi-open, 1, 2, step, 4, good, back ready. Okay, closed stance, and let your weight come forward and recover. Does that make sense? 1, 2, step, 4, weight forward and recover, crossover, good. Light on your toes, again, 1, 2, step, 4, and recover. I need a little more hip drive, little more acceleration, last one, 1, 2, step, and 4, hold, weight forward, and recover, lovely. When you recover, if you can recover around the square. Does that make sense? Next up. Here we go, on your toes, 1, 2, 4, back ready, on your toes, 1, 2, 4, good, semi-open, 1, 2, 4, good, back ready, relax, let the racket work a little more, let your weight come forward and then recover. Ready, 1, 2, and 4, back ready, again. Too much pausing on the ground. So at this point, if I'm working with Kaylee, I'm looking at the amount of time she's spending in the ground after the shot, and I'm trying to build a fast twitch response, right? I don't want to spend too long in the ground. So you're light on your toes, and what we like to do is build a rhythm for them to keep. So I'm on my toes, I'm clapping, I want to keep the rhythm. I get my first step in, but I've got to find a way to stay on that rhythm. And obviously, if I don't keep that rhythm, if I pause, I break the rhythm. Does that make sense? So I need you to try and shadow it a couple times, a little quicker. And you're breaking it in your 2 right now, so lighter. Okay, and you need to get a recovery and a crossover. Does that make sense? But at this point, you can see the kids have an open stance, they have a semi-open stance, they have a closed stance, they have an understanding of how to recover out of the shot. We've done some good warm-up exercises that not only work on their skill, but work on their athletic ability. If they're better athletes and better players, it'll probably end up in a better end game, right? So we've been through our static technical systems, and by static I mean the kids aren't moving, we're feeding directly to them. Obviously everything is very easily put in place there, but it starts to fall out of place when the kids move to the ball. So this drill is about teaching them to position themselves in a way that can allow them to use their legs in the way that we'd like to see in the stroke. So Justin and Kaylee are on their toes, they're ready to go. And we'll start with open stances and hold your 4. So ready? 1, 2, 4. Okay, weight forward. Next up, Kaylee, come on in. Here we go. 1. And guys, try to stay engaged in the back. Okay, 2, step, and 4. Back ready, weight forward. Let's do that again. Ready? 1, 2, open stance. 4, hold, weight forward. Okay, Justin, come on in, semi-open. 1, 2, step, semi-open. 4, weight forward. Okay, crossover, come on in, Kaylee, ready, on your toes. 1, 2, step, semi-open. 4, hold, weight forward, crossover. Next up, 1, 2, step, closed stance, and hold, weight forward. Wonderful. Guys, if you just jog over there, kick those balls out of the way for me. So I'm going to feed 2 balls, and if I feed 2, you have to reposition your back foot. Does that make sense? You're doing the same thing, but if I feed another one, you'll go here or here or here. But your job is still to put the back leg behind the ball. Does that make sense? Sure? Okay, ready, on your toes, here we go. 1. So there's another one, it's coming. 2, step, 4, weight forward, crossover. Ready again, Justin. 1. Okay, and at this point we're dealing with the initial movement, but how they can adjust. So a lot of the kids will go ahead and set up, and once they set, they're stationary and they can't move out of that position. But we want to build a dynamic 2. Does that make sense? So show me your 2. And what I mean by dynamic 2 is I need you to be able to adjust, whether we're talking backwards or forwards. I need you to be able to adjust in that position and be light on your feet, which is part of the reason why we're doing our toe touches there. Does that make sense? So show me a little more movement. Ready? 1, light, 2, light, step, weight forward, 4, recover, okay. Come on in, ready? 1, 2, step, 4, weight forward, good. Again, 1, 2, okay, and 4. Okay, come on in. So at this point we've moved them around, we've done some tracking exercises, and it's just time to take the training wheels off for a bit and let them run through what they need to run through. So next up, good, come on forward. Again, Kaylee, I need you to recover around the cone. Come on in, ready, on your toes. 1 and through, good. Get your first step in and through, good. Last one, ready, light on your toes and through. Okay, good. Okay, and that's kind of the beginning of our forehand. We have a couple of advanced things that we'll show you in a second. But guys, I thought you did great, and thank you so much for doing this. So we've kind of built the initial stroke, we've put it on the move. No doubt it breaks down at times, and now we're trying to break down the movement a little more to the ball. So we've broken down it into 3 categories. Moving to the ball, so your first step and your drop step and that initial step to the ball. Your movement through the ball, so how you're moving your feet through the shots, and then movement from the ball, so your recovery, which we'll go through now. So the first one, and we can even teach it back in here, so put your rackets down really quickly. So for this, we'd kind of regress to an earlier stage. Come on forward, Kaylee, you get your shuffling. And the first one is an open to open, so we're gonna take that first step and rotate through, open to open, and recover. Good, one more. And open to open, stop, stay there. Okay, and all we're looking for in this position is toes facing forward, nice low athletic base. Justin, you need to drop into the ground a little more and then recover. Okay, Justin, come on forward. Open to open, drop, open to open, no. So we're gonna do it again. When you rotate through this one, I need you to sit everything into the ground. Drop, go, stop. Okay, next up, come on forward. Ready? Next one is load explode. So same footwork from the beginning, big first step, drop, and explode through. And I need you exploding forward to the left foot on that yellow dot. So again, shuffle, shuffle, first step. Ready, first step, drop, explode, forward, stop. There you go, wonderful. Last one, light on your toes, first step, drop, and through. So that is our load explode. So now we're going right to right, drop, right to right, go. Yeah, and finish the swing, last one. And stop, good. And come on forward. So in fairness, we haven't really been over the right to right with the kids, but we're just trying to introduce fundamental movements that they'll work on from the time that they're 9 or 11 through to the time they're going to college, and the movements will be the same, but you'll ask for more out of yourself in the movements. You'll want to be more explosive, more balanced, have more control, more power. It's just about making you stronger and faster in those movements. So grab your rackets, and we've broken the court down. We're focusing on technique. At times we find that focusing on where they're hitting can take away the focus from how they're hitting at a young age. So we haven't really looked over there, but at this point we're cutting the court into thirds, and we're asking you guys to keep it out of the middle third. Does that make sense? Okay, so you're on your toes, and the first one we'll start with the open to open. So open to open, drop, open to open, through, weight forward, next up, come on forward. Again, open to open, drop, and through, good. Justin, pay attention to how you're finishing. Load explode, and through, good. Back ready, here we go, load explode, and explode, through. Okay, you should be driving off of one leg, bud, here we go. Right to right, drop, and explode, hold. That's it, well done. Again, ready? Right to right, drop, and explode, hold, good. Okay, those are the three movements we'd use. Moving through the ball, now we're focusing on coming from the ball. So I would like to see you guys just build in your recovery step, and we're gonna build in that recovery step from in front of the body. Does that make sense? So one in front and one behind. Do you both understand what I mean or no? Move out wide, hit a forehand. Sometimes people come with the right leg in front on the crossover, and sometimes they come from the right leg behind. Do you understand? I need you to show me that you can do both. So, starting with in front, so we're recovering in front. Slide that ball out of the way, sweetheart. Ready? Here we go, on your toes, and through, crossover, back ready. Again, I want a bigger, more explosive crossover. Ready? One more for Kaylee. Drop, step, and through, crossover, good. Next up, come on forward. That was a great recovery. Drop, set, step, semi-open, finish, and crossover, good. Okay, last one. Drop, step, and hold. So we've built the movement to the ball, we've built the movement through the ball, and we've built the movement from the ball. Now we're trying to introduce some basic shot selection, so where to hit and why to hit from certain parts of the court. So Kaylee, if you'll go ahead and start. Actually, Justin, go ahead and start up for us. We're going to cut the court into 3 pieces. A defensive part, which is behind the baseline for now. A neutral part, which is along the baseline. And a short or a aggressive part, which is in front of the baseline. Does that make sense? And as far as stances go, what stances should you use from 3 feet behind the baseline? What do you think? What do you think? Short. So an open, maybe moving naturally into a semi-open. How about neutral? So moving just along the baseline. So as a rule, we're going to look to close the stance whenever we can, but build comfort in the open stance. And then inside of the baseline, what stance do you feel you'll use? Closed. Okay. And for now, at an early age, that's what we'll go through. So, and let's go cross court. So I want your first round of balls to be cross court to the last third of the court. Ready? Here we go. Through, crossover. Through. Okay, couple close stance, close, through, good. Last one. And through. Kaylee, come on forward. Focus a little more on your target. Through, through. Okay, let's start again. Back fence, ready? Back fence. Through, back ready, good. Back fence. Through, good. Back ready. Let the racket go more, sweetheart. Through, good. Again, last one. Okay, inside of the baseline, so coming forward, right? Ready, coming forward, through, through. Lovely, again, drive through the ball. Through, good. Coming forward, through, good. Okay, next up. Close the stance, through, good. Back ready, close, through, good. Last one, and through, good. Next up. The last one will be the deep ball. So defensive, you're 3 feet behind the baseline, and I want you to hit it with shape over my head. Does that make sense? So ready, start on top of the baseline. Okay, you're moving deep, shape over my head, sorry, again. Through, good, back ready, shape over my head. Through, good, last one. Good, okay, come on in, Kaylee. Shape over my head, good effort. And through, back ready, good. Through, back fence still though, sweetheart. Last one. Through, good. I hope you guys enjoyed your session. I certainly enjoyed teaching you. I guess what we should understand at this point is how we want to hit the ball, beginning to understand certain parts of the court and where we want to hit them and how we want to hit them with how much spin and what height and what stance. Great job. You guys did wonderful. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys for allowing us to share our forehand technical system with you. We hope you found it helpful. And if you'd like to continue your development, please be sure to check out our upcoming videos.